lose street cred. Not that I'm even on any streets right now.
Wow.
But I could be on the streets in Texas. I could be on the streets.
Would you like some lotion?
That's messed up. I just said don't do that because I'm going to lose street cred. Black people will question my black authority.
You just work like all day long.
Oh, jeez. And I think we're rolling.
What you can't just turn on cameras like that all the time.
How about I tell
and then put things in.
Do you know why?
You turn cameras on without saying anything, and then I don't know what's happening. I'm still in the middle of a text message. I did not know we were going to start rolling.
My water doesn't taste.
Would you like some strawberries or blueberries in that?
I'm good.
Would you like some fruit in your water?
Is that a thing? We talked about that before?
We haven't talked. Have we talked about melon balls?
We talked about melon balls.
We've talked about melon balls, but maybe not on our show.
What was I gonna say? Street cred. Oh, why do black people prefer to have unashy elbows, knees, and toes, and hands and skin? Go.
Who's going where?
I want you to tell me why you think black people prefer
think
not to have
it's
ashy.
taking care. I lotion my whole body when I get out of the shower too. I think that it's just taking care of our skin, people's skin, people taking care of their skin.
I was hoping you were gonna say something racist.
Nails. I mean, I'm right, so anything that comes up out of my mouth.
No, I was setting you. I didn't do a really good job. I was trying to set you up to mess up, but that was pretty good. People like to take care of their skin.
It's healthy to take care of your skin. I think white people ought to be putting lotion on their bodies more often too, in my opinion.
I think that.
Or doing whatever they're comfortable with, you know, like I don't know, whatever. You said that I can't have the thing, but then you got me some more stuff and it's still dusty.
I think I framed it out so that it wouldn't be in the shot.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Oh, you adjusted.
I adjusted.
But now it's not.
You're a star, Tuck.
No.
Okay, I know I have afro issues today. This afro's dry. Speaking of skin and dryness and stuff like that.
Let me join the show. I didn't know you were going to hit play right away. We usually talk about it first. Usually.
Talk about what?
You know, rolling or you say something before you.
Oh, you want to talk about something? Say something. Say what you want to talk about.
What?
You do
I said you usually.
Let's pretend like the first part never happened, and you just start talking about something, and then we can start going. Or I can just say, "Hey, we're gonna start a show." Now we're gonna start a show.
I didn't know we were so close. I would have gotten up and done maybe a couple things like using the bathroom.
Do you need to use the restroom? I can talk while you go to the restroom. That's a first.
Yeah, no, is that okay?
If you want to go to the restroom, don't hit the microphone.
I'll duck under it. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna set you up for the rest of the show.
Okay.
With the people on the microphone. Hey, everybody. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to get her to say more racist stuff because somehow that's funny to me, even though it's highly inappropriate. No, I'm not gonna do that. But we are gonna talk about Texas, where I was born. We are gonna talk about Mississippi, where my grandmother was born, and we are going to talk about melanin. That's a word. We are going to talk about. We have a new person. I was going to introduce it with Tux, but we have a person that we've added to our team, and hopefully the teams keep getting bigger. I do want to address some toilet flush in the background. That's the funny part. There's a toilet flush in the background. I do want to address that we're getting a lot of people talking to us about our show, which is Amazeballs. I really wish that you guys would do it in the YouTube forum. I love who's watching, and I am moved by your comments, and I appreciate you. And I just wish you did it in our YouTube comments because that would actually help boost our algorithm. Here she comes. Shh. Take a second.
Here, I got enough for both of us.
Oh no! Don't do lotion. That would be rude. I don't want it.
Okay.
Now you just have what is going
I
on.
have lotion now. You talked about it. You always take lotion if I have a lot.
No,
more.
you always put lotion on me.
That's not true.
That's absolutely true. When you do what you're doing right now, which is unbelievable.
I did this on purpose this time, though, because you said something. I'll lotion my legs, too.
I can't say that I've ever in my life ever had a person do that kind of thing, that actually like over lotion and then gift you the lotion from their hand to you.
Well,
You're
it
the only person I've ever met.
out of the thing.
But every
and
time
then you can't get it back in. The hole's too small, and it doesn't.
I've known you. Whenever you over lotion, you do put it on the person next to you.
Not just random people. That would be funny, though. I think that would be great social experiment.
I bet you there's a lot of friends of yours that could probably back me up on this very subject.
There's a lot of friends of mine who would do that as a social experiment.
What? Just put lotion on other people?
Some weird stuff out there as artists. Right? You got some friends, too.
I don't...
What's that called? Performance art. Sure.
They're going to lotion up other randoms.
Just seriously, people. If you wanted some, I got some.
I don't... It's not like that. I didn't really want that. You over lotioned on purpose? You got to get... This is nasty now. We got weird...
This is your favorite lotion. I even put rosemary mint from the spa place.
That's not...
that you like.
You smell that?
That's the rosemary mint from the spa... From the...
Yeah, but it's a shower spray.
No, it's not.
That spritz is for the shower. It says shower spray on the side of it.
It's not the spray. It's the lotion in the tube that's up on the thing.
Oh, I got you. So that's just the rosemary mint?
This is just rosemary mint lotion from the hotel spa.
Well, it smells a little peppery. It doesn't smell like the normal rosemary mint that I normally smell. It could be old.
Old? We were just there, like...
Oh. Well, I'm glad that's...
Unless it's like... Did I just put hair conditioner on?
That's what it is. It's the
Why would you put hair conditioner by the sink?
By the sink? It's up on the little ledge.
Yeah, we do have hair conditioner all over.
Yeah. And I just grab it and I do... Look at all this hair. I got to condition something. Some parts are dry and others
my
work.
hands are sticky. I condition the boys' hair, too. And there's...
Yeah, that's different. Well...
Okay, does anybody else get confused in the hotel, though, with the lotion and the hair conditioner? Come on, it's a thing.
Now...
Unless you read it. And if the writing is the same color as what's inside of the container, that's horrible.
First of all, you should never have a mistaken item inside the thing.
I wash the conditioner.
No, you can't leave. You cannot leave now after you just did that. You got to commit as a performance artist. If you're going to go ahead and go balls out with your smooch, you're going to have to make sure you commit full.
My hair conditioner. Like everything. Well, it's fine. You know,
first of all,
take a shower after the show.
Has there been a time when you actually had the wrong thing inside of the container at a hotel?
Yes.
Really?
I've made that mistake. I have put lotion in my hair.
No, you said, I thought you said one part of your thing was that you've actually had, it said conditioner, but it was lotion.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, I just accidentally used the lotion in my hair at a place. And this is probably not the first time I've done conditioner. Okay. It's not that. I mean, it's, conditioner. It's hair conditioner for the skin. It's not that far off. Look, it's starting to go back to normal already.
I will say that it's probably too crass of a joke, but I know that there's jokes out there about men accidentally using the wrong thing in a hotel, and it's stinging. And I'll just leave it at that.
What could you possibly use at a hotel that would sting?
If you use lotion versus conditioner, and men are really, really, really flagrant, gross, nasty beings, and they are alone in a hotel.
Well, no, we know that. But why would it sting? Why would anything that they would give you sting?
It's likely that a conditioner would have something that would sting versus a lotion that may not.
Like mint?
Like mint.
Does mint sting?
Or pepper, whatever the hell this is. You don't smell that? It doesn't smell
like
the
maybe it's the mixture of our soap with whatever the conditioner is, too.
Okay, that's fair.
It's that stuff that you make. You make our soap. You
pour together.
Alcohol and other stuff. And
yeah. Well, I mean, it's actually a good hack. I feel like you're mocking me a little bit when you do your facial expression.
No, it's a good...
For antibacterial pandemic's been going on for a year, adding alcohol to a... one of those ones that create the foam.
Well, no,
if you add alcohol to it, it actually does good. And I use Dr. Bronner's, a little bit of alcohol and water.
Some water.
Primarily water. It's about 8 parts to 2 parts type of situation.
Yeah, it's been getting us through.
It helps. We had a lot.
Well, and then you're not throwing out all the plastic containers over and over and over again.
There's that thing too. Yeah. So I mean, people do, to each their own. Some people are making soap. Everyone's got a new hobby now. People are going to come out here with all kinds of arts and crafts stories.
I'm just stress knitting.
Stress knitting, yes. She knitted a scarf for a little mouse, a little stuff.
I don't know how to do anything but I think it's the pearl. I don't know. I don't know how to do anything but basic whatever. So I'm knitting scarves.
What's the stitch?
For I think it's just a regular pearl stitch that it's just real basic. It looks like a little squiggle.
And so is the pearl the shape of the circle?
Good question. I have not studied it that close. I just watched a YouTube thing. Well, I learned how to knit a long time ago, and then it's a casting on and casting off that I
How has stress knitting served you in the last part of our pandy?
I'm not so I mean, has it? I don't know.
That's why I asked the question. And you're asking me the question, the guy who asked the question to you about the question.
I don't know.
Okay, so I would assume that it's not working too well.
Well, our oldest son has a scarf.
And our middle son has a scarf.
Our younger son has a scarf.
And they're stuffed little
and
mouse.
They love them. They love to
has
see that I've made things with my own hands out of love.
There's a phrase we learned from that with our first schooling adventure. What was it called?
Meaningful work.
Meaningful work. Doing meaningful work.
When we do meaningful work with our own hands and our own selves, and they get to see that, or they get to see us fixing things or mending things instead of throwing things away. That's meaningful work.
It's so cool to be a part of a time when things like meaningful work are said out loud, and then parents can adopt it and then try to help their kids see meaningful work. I saw meaningful work. My mom worked a lot, and she was a single mom. And you saw meaningful work, but this is different meaningful work. Yeah.
And she might as well have been a single mom.
Right? Oh, oop. What? Well, my mother was a single mom because my dad was an alcoholic.
For the first almost decade or so, he was engaged and active. But once I was in
once you started liking boys,
he got upset.
Wow.
Apparently,
what is that like?
That's his own story.
I wonder.
That's not the real story.
I don't know if that's a right way to ask that question. I wonder what it's like for parents with children who are liking other humans during a pandemic. I can't imagine any part of what it's like to be social as a young person at any age.
You mean from like middle school through high school?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go from 14 to
hot garbage trash mess, probably.
Sorry, what?
I just imagine that it's hot garbage trash mess.
I don't know.
I think some families maybe have it under control and like get along with the other family and have it in a bubble.
Wait, there's family dating going on here?
I think so. I think that there's, my teenage daughter has a boyfriend, so,
Oh, it's like your life experience. Bubble. Like your experience. Your family's all interacted?
What? No. I mean...
I'm trying to figure out where this whole family mating is going. Family dating
is
going
on.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. It sounds like a thing.
Turning into the royals?
No, well, first of all, I'm being comical. If there's two families joining together
British
during
royals?
a pandemic so that they could actually date, I feel like there's a little bit extra going on there. That's what I'm insinuating here. If they're joining together, like, let's be a bubble together. That sounds great. Let's go with the Windsor. You maybe think about British names. Let's go with Wilson. Let's get the Wilsons, and there'll be our bubble. And I'll have my work bubble, and then you could date, Mitch, because he's a really star quarterback. Like, what do you think really is going on? I don't think anything's going well as far as dating is concerned.
I'm just glad that our children aren't old.
Very, very young, even though it's still funky. In school.
It's all funky. But that's life, right? Or isn't it just gonna be funky?
I like that.
Isn't that what we're here for?
This is my point. That's life is new now. Well, now we can say that's life. Pandemics happen. And years go by where people lose their jobs.
About 100, and then another pandemic comes along from what I've garnered, but maybe not.
We've been collecting data for about just a little over 150 years.
1 second.
Really well.
We've been collecting data for a millisecond.
I'm pretty sure the 1800s had a lot of bad things go down sickness-wise for a lot of different...
Plague.
There wasn't the plague in the 1800s.
No, not the 1800s. That was medieval. I'm taking it back.
We might have to cross-check that. Oh my God, guess what we forgot to do?
1600s?
Some people might be watching our show for the first time, and this is the first episode. We gotta let them know what
20 minutes in. You can cut it.
14 minutes in. Don't even.
So that it looks
that's
like you're
soft.
doing it earlier.
Okay, so would you...
I don't know what soft means.
It's not exactly 20 minutes. So it's 14 minutes in, and now we can tell them what our show is.
15 minutes.
Okay. Will you lead? Because I realize almost we've had 10 shows, and I'm the first person that says, welcome to Borderline Racing.
I have to work on following your lead. So
no, I want you to do the thing so I can do it. I realize I'm the one saying it first, and I don't need to be saying, Welcome to Borderline Racist Marriage. Every time with you following me. I don't think that's right. I'm woke. I'm out here, man. I know that I got toxic masculinity. Just grab the bull by the
I thought I was
areolas. To say how many man, I didn't want to do that. That's so rude. I was trying to think of something powerful for you to do. Just if you could just lead us into the show, and now I look like a jack.
You don't look like a. To me, you don't look like a jack.
Because of my shirt.
What? You just right now. I mean, I thought it was funny to say grab the bull by the areola.
Oh, thank you. Because that's what I mean.
To me, that's funny.
I've been writing some jokes, and that's one of them. I'm trying. I really do want to get into toxic masculinity, but I really want to talk specifically about the division of how black male toxic masculinity is not even close to the same as white, and I do want to do that just so that the teams are set, even though it's all bad.
Wow.
Dang it! Now I'm gonna have some friends who are not gonna watch this anymore because I just guy coded backwards.
I feel like a lot of guys need to code backwards and figure out some stuff. Oh, shoot,
dude. They're coming for us. Oh, so feel free. Go ahead and tell them what the name of this is.
Yourselves. Okay.
You gonna try it? Let's try it.
Welcome to another episode of
Borderline Racist Marriage. It's very quiet.
I'm Tukwila.
I'm Leonard Jones. And thank you for joining our show.
Because we're married.
We are married.
In real life.
In real life, not in this fake, amazing set with our beautiful decor.
We had this pillow for like 20
Yeah, so
that pillow is like a decade
First of all, let me just let you guys in on a little secret. We might get to the other stuff. Let me in on this little secret. We have been getting a lot of fanfare. I'm going to say a lot because I want to pump it up. I love that we're doing this and we're getting people responding. One of the first, and I have a lot of respect for you, who, talked about the commentary. You spoke about how we were interacting and how you wanted, whatever I'm talking about, points of Afrocentricity or about black plight. You wanted to make sure I had a voice, and you spoke on that, and I respect you for bringing that up. That happened. So the first post, I realize I'm just scrambling around. Anyway, we got, one of our first messages was about how our show's working, and then how they did not like our decor. They said, I don't like your decor. And I actually respect the fact that it was just a very short sentence, like, I don't like your decor.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, I enjoy that too. And I felt
I enjoy the other feedback as well.
I love all the feedback. The Proud Boys people, I love those people.
It's true. I've watched our episodes too, and I need to shut up more often.
Okay.
When you're talking about.
Right. But I also, like we talked about, just trying to be authentic about how we're approaching it and make the mistake and trip and stumble over ourselves.
And I'm down to talk about what's going to make me shut up more.
There you go. And I need to try to figure out a way to speak up more, I think. But anyway, that first message about our decor sucking, okay, real talk, I feel you. And I'm glad that I thought that I had to clarify to the person that we do know each other. This is something that we're trying to do here as our former protester, standing in what's the word? Not congruent, standing in solidarity with others. And we live in we lived a life where racism was abundant surrounding us, and here we are set tripping in our own house. So I thought it was a great title, and that's why we created the show. But I want to speak on a couple of things in the decor situation for all of you to understand why it means so much to us. So this prominently featured couch that may no longer, it might live like a couple more episodes. We don't know if it's going to stay around for a long time. This is called the Africa couch. And yeah, I'm wearing a traditional dashiki, and it's beautiful, and this is from a local actual store. We're going to start promoting some of the local people in the area where we live. But I'm wearing the dashikis, and I can speak on that, but that's not the decor in our background. This Africa couch was purchased while I was traveling in Africa for business for $200. Take it away, Tuck. Why did you purchase a couch for $200?
Where do you want me to take it to?
I was away on a trip, and we had a couch that was passed down from her family. A hand-me-down couch. I don't know if anybody else is in a married or semi, what do you call it when people are two together? Partnership or in a they-ship. I don't know why that's funny to me to say it that way, but I don't know if you get things from if you get things from
relationship, partnership.
Here's the thing I'm wondering: can two people that are just dating together, living together, not be in a partnership? Because I mean,
you're either romantically involved or you're not, right?
Nope, because I am also
physically involved.
I'm also speaking about I had roommates, 2 of my guy friends, and we had brought in what we came in with.
I don't understand what you mean. Are you talking about STDs? Like, what are we talking about?
Write that down.
What did you bring in that you came in with?
So what happened was...
I wish I understood.
It was a big deal. We all worked at a dance club. But no, what I'm speaking about is... It's true. Okay. What I'm speaking about is... No, I want to speak to anybody living together in a dwelling, not even if they are intimately together. I feel like living together is an intimate reality.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So
okay.
People bring things into that space, and sometimes you just kind of deal with whatever's going on.
So roommates. So you're also wanting to speak to the roommates
because
who are out
our
there.
Story began as we were kind of just seeing what was going on. We started just seeing how things are going on. All my stuff was in Sacramento, California when we first came together as let's talk about it for real, right? So I didn't have things to bring into the story. So you had some things. I didn't have much of things. Right, but the thing you did have was that couch.
I did have that couch.
Okay, so it was an old couch. It was geezer. It was probably the 1970s from what I remember.
I mean, I honestly put it at maybe early 90s.
Oh, I thought it was 1970s. It was a dope couch.
It was actually a designer couch.
It's a designer couch in 1991. And so...
I don't know what year it was. I don't know. This is the same brand couch.
I want to get to the big butt of the joke. There was an old couch that was dying, and then you and your best friend decided it would be a good idea to change out that old couch for another couch with... You guys can't see what's going on over here on this side, but there's issues with the couch.
You know what? I did not know about those issues, and even furthermore, that whole section could have just gone. I've always been okay with that section. Not existing and just having a chaise and a...
I don't know how other people deal with domestic relationships, but it was $200.
Yeah.
$200. For this is a couch that's shaped like a C.
And the other
this
one
is not
free.
An L couch.
The other one I picked off on the side of the road outside of their house for free.
So you're buying, but you got it from your family member, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, you got your family member's couch, but then you buy a $200 couch, and it has problems. My point...
It only has that problem.
What about that one right over there with the little thing stitch work?
That's fine.
We took a pillow apart because accidentally our baby got sick. We looked at all the stuffing. There's a lot of problems with the couch. My point is...
You know what? This one is better than the one that we had.
Okay.
This one was better than the one that we had when
I guess what I was trying to just emulate...
And now this one is almost 3 years old.
No.
Yeah,
really? This is the first Africa trips that I took? Okay. I guess...
No, Peanut was around.
I'm trying to point out that I don't think I like all the decor too. I just
we don't like it.
I don't think we like it.
I don't like it either.
No, this picture's dope. This picture right here, it's black and white. It's a church in New York City.
Yeah.
Taken during the same time that 9/11 happened, just before 9/11, by our children's godpapa and H-Bomb, if you guys know who that is, for those that know who it is, or Chef Hubbard. He took that photo, and it was in his first restaurant that he owned, and he had 4 of them. I have one of them, and then our very close friend who passed away, Strider, has in his home the other one. Anthony has another one. I think his parents have the other one. There's 4 of them. So that was sentimental. There's another art piece over here that was done by an artist of ours, a friend of ours. I know, but they can't see, but they see it sometimes. And then there's another one done by an artist, one of our clients, who was a painter as well. I bring it up to say that even though everything we put in our place came together on sort of a purpose, purple is just a color that's been riding with me since I met my mom a long time ago. I remember our first days together. Purple was around that color. I was joking with my mom. I was like, I've loved being your friend since I met you, because I met her when I was born. I don't know if you knew that. So, but we don't like the decor too.
You know what though? Why own anything that's worth anything until your children are old enough to not mess it up?
There's a lot of people out there trying to, ball out of control when it comes to couches and chairs and tables. and they got their kids growing up.
If your children are going to be in the same room as those really wonderful, nice things that you've chosen.
I grew up.
I mean, unless you've got dispensable cash out the wazoo,
What do you think about the people that over decorate their house with crown molding and all that junk and make their fancy? Because when I grew up, I couldn't go in a couple of different places in some houses.
Same.
Like there's the cliche plastic couch.
My grandparents had plastic on their couch, or not on their couch. My grandparents had plastic on their dining room stuff, and never.
What was that on the table?
On
the table?
I don't. Maybe even we never sat.
I remember stuff like that.
Whenever we visited them in their big old house.
There's the decorative cloth that goes over the wooden table. I think it was wood because I never saw the top of it. And then there's the plastic that goes over
clear plastic over the decorative thing. It might have been something like that. I don't know.
Are people still doing that? Are people our age actually buying stuff like that on purpose? I don't think that they were doing that anymore. I don't think we're emulating that story.
I don't know what's happening. I just know my family emailed me about stuff, and I sent them a long email about how that's pretty toxic, considering we're...
I mean, I say speak on it. They wanted you to...
I'm
feeling very comical. I'm very, very comical, so I don't want to say anything flagrant and wrong about people and family. So I apologize.
Well, I mean, it speaks to the borderline portion of why we're also calling the show Borderline. I mean, there's so many things to read into on that, though, right?
Oh my gosh, because... Can I just say something? And I don't hope I don't offend anybody.
Borderline.
I don't hope I don't offend any Caucasian people by pointing my finger at you.
At me? Is that you pointing a
finger? I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway. I don't know if this is true, but I do know that I've witnessed this in my life journey where families, particularly moms, white mothers and white... I'm so trying to protect everything I'm saying.
We don't need to coddle anybody. Just say it like it is.
I feel like your group, your racial group tends to like push stuff onto to their children.
Well, there's a lot of stuff to push, right?
So here's the thing I don't understand.
There's 600 years. I mean, how many hundreds of years?
Don't mess that
400
up.
years.
It's 400 years of
brought crap over on the boat, too.
I know that joke was funny, but we can't say the same joke over again because it's not going to be funny to them.
What are you talking about?
The joke that we had earlier was pretty hilarious.
I don't remember what it was.
It was funny about people on...
Got a snoozy brain tonight.
Yeah, that's okay.
I cannot hide it.
I don't know that I can recall any family member or at all or anybody of color where they on purpose push and give and gift stuff that already existed to their children or their grandchildren or maybe
such abundance.
Maybe heirloom type of things, but nothing like here's the couch, here's the table, here's all the stuff from their great grand uncle. Like I've never
here's the storage unit full of
here's
crap.
The stuff and here's here's all the stocks and bonds. Like I don't know. I mean, to me I'm so happy that's not true. But we're sharing the space right now, and you had, we've
got a lot of stuff.
I have a feeling that
we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, including a vehicle.
Here's the thing I wish happened. I wish you guys would talk to each other about how that's got to stop, if that's how it's felt.
Well, I did send an email back.
No, but I mean, like...
To my family. I mean, you mean, like, to just everybody, like, talk about it in our families,
to
our families, or just talk about it, like, do we need some self-help groups? Yes.
Flagrant reverse racism alert. Flagrant reverse racism alert. Flagrant reverse racism alert. This is what I'm about to do right now.
Flagrant reverse racism
alert? I'm
alert?
about to reverse racism on some stuff here. Like, you white folks don't talk to each other. And I don't know if it's true, but you guys aren't communicating about the basics.
Okay.
And here's what I do know where I can create a little bit of air. I could just say that and not be too
What are the
racist.
basics?
So, not coming from something. So my mother grabbing herself by the bootstraps because that's what everybody was doing in the 60s. And being an African American woman and working hard and facing racism and prejudice and not equal pay and all this other stuff. She would say, and this is like the mantra, she would not even have to say it. The mantra was, I just want better for you. so the journey is like, you get what I'm trying to get at, which is basically like there's always more to have, and it's not about having the haves and have-nots as much as it is like, I want your spirit to be lifted. I want you to be safe. I want you to be productive. I want you to be successful. I want you to know that you can do anything you want to do. Like, that's the choo-choo train of Black plight, in my opinion. Whereas I've watched so many I spent most of my time, that's like my peoples, man. Over 70% of my friends are Caucasian over time. And I've watched them all.
I lived majority in Seattle.
Majority of the time in Seattle, and and when I worked in Hollywood, like real talk, that's what Hollywood, it is. Yeah. Now I will say there's different cultural differences when you're dealing with like my Jewish brothers and sisters and friends and so on and so forth that I worked with in Hollywood. And then the ones that I spent time with here in Seattle, like all I had crushes on were Jewish girls. Forgive me. And that was a thing, like, for me. And I watched, I liked looking at the cultures and the divisions to try to figure out the why. I feel like I started to recognize that I was really just curious because I had learned so much at a young age and been so affected and positively affected by diversity in my life, because that's what I had, all kinds of diversity. Like, I was meditating at the age of 5 and around a lot of my, I always say Indian brothers and sisters, but I mean like India over
East India,
where Columbus was trying to get to, like where Christopher Columbus was trying to get to, like the real India. That was the people I spent most of my life.
I thought around. They were trying to get to what is now South America. Okay, well,
all I know is he messed up.
Messed the mark.
Yeah, he messed up.
Messed.
So I just feel like I feel like the messaging that happens that leads us to attacks on the White House are partially because the messaging that's shared are communal. Or maybe they are. Maybe I'm missing the mark. Maybe that is communal.
I feel like you're onto something.
Yeah.
I personally feel like you're onto something. Within the last couple of weeks, there's been some discussion in a couple of the online groups that I'm in pertaining to, specifically, honestly, I'll just put it out there, pertaining to white parents of black or brown children. Black and brown children, specifically adoptive parents too. There was a really, really intriguing conversation surrounding the cultural differences between black communities and white communities, and the communication that is had, where and specifically white people are speaking to keep the peace, their peace, like peace, like don't, and whereas, and it was said that in black culture, people speak to get to the point. People speak to get to the problem solving. People speak to get to the, like, there's actual, like, there's a cut to the chase and, like, talk about in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a, whereas in white culture, it's, I don't know how else to do it, but like pitter-pattering on like, and like,
well, the big,
trying to keep them and not ever actually.
The big A word is accountability that everyone says, but the truth, the interesting thing about it is that there's no algorithm that says when you reach accountability. So people are they're not comfortable with knowing where they're going to sit once that's addressed. Like, how do I offer up
checklist thing, It's
what?
Like they just want to like
check a box. Like, they want to just check a box and be like, okay, did I do that? Am I good?
I mean, let's bring it back to our marriage counseling. Like, like was very much a thing that, like, yeah, where I'm like, I gotta know, I want to know, all the information, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's exhausting to, like,
to listen and do things.
Be on time and this and da 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 da. Instead of, instead of like, take the time if something like happens in your community or something happened, like, you shouldn't have to stay on the hamster wheel of life to, like, you honor certain things and you show up, you communicate, I don't know.
So, I mean, like, So you were just saying that you think I'm onto something, and I feel like you actually are adding some value to like what I'm kind of.
Oh, I feel like all I'm doing is I'm communicating something that I learned from Black women in this group. Like it was,
So that is a very interesting thing.
I don't.
It's a very interesting thing because what another part of this topic is like, life is an emergency for people of color. It's a need. It's a drive. It's a desired effect. It's a promise because they're spiritual. Like they know God has put them on earth for a reason, so they continue to actually deal with the problems and the atrocities, and they or they get locked up, or they don't get a job, or they live in a car but they try to get out. Like all of this drive. That's I think. I'm not just talking about Black people. I'm just talking like really what I thought I was going to talk about today because I've been like emotionally distressed. I say spiritually when I think about culturally, because the Black Lives Matter conversation is going to abruptly change in front of everyone's eyes. And this is my prediction. And I know they're not ready for what it's going to abruptly change into. Because the Black Lives Matter, I put they on whoever's on they side. They being opposite of understanding why that was important in the first place. They who do not understand why we face this during this tumultuous time. We got a pandemic. George Floyd is one of the greatest iconic martyrs in our future educational history. I think his death, though his life was not rich and promising to some, is going to be so valued to so many because of what it represented. And the biggest thing to me that's going to impact those that write about this time in the future in text, as new writers appear, new Afrocentric writers, new people of color writers write about this time, is that they're going to speak on how impactful that incident was to have us look at the incidents that have been an atrocity. It has been an atrocity so much so that it's mimicked in what happened with the cold surge in Texas. What's going on with how people of color are suffering because they're not getting vaccines. What's mimicked how in the same areas where voting booths and things are being shut down. What's mimicked when you're dealing with places like Flint, Michigan, who, there's so many things that just point to the exact same knee on your throat, so much so that you piss yourself, you can't breathe, you say it, and you call out your dead mother's name as you pass away. That's what happened. That's Black Lives Matter for real. But it's going to unearth itself because the whole point of the conversation for Black people and what you're experiencing is that it's an emergency, and it's always been an emergency. If there's Black women talking to white women who have mixed babies, they're racing to help those mixed babies. Mm-hmm. They don't give a fuck about you. I mean, they do, but they don't. Right? I know they do and they don't. But real talk, they need to say we're trying to save lives. I think the people of color, of all colors, Latino families have kept their families together in this jacked up country because they know that's how they protect their life, the life journey of those children, because they have a lot of things that they have to face too, coming from poverty areas. They can be in California, man, geez. There's areas where it's like 15 blocks where a whole group of Latinos, brothers and sisters, don't even interact with another group of Latino brothers and sisters on all the old school beefs, to the gangs that exist, to all that stuff like that. And real talk, there's also a wish that they could stop. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like what has been happening and what's going on right now is about to change into the perfect language. And I'm bringing this up to say, like, what I'm hoping to try to engage is a conversation and maybe even change my whole, like, life journey here and, like, trying to evolve. Remember, I was talking about the idea of a POC student union for, like, high school or grade schools. Having places where a POC student union would be interesting to me, because then you have an evolution of Black student union. And there was like the Latino student unions before. I've seen them before. And there was, forgive me, I can't remember what they did back in Roosevelt, but I know like there was like, I want to say Filipinos were together and doing, they had like a thing where they were together halfway, because like a lot of them were what do you call it when you're the first child?
First generation.
First generation. So they spoke at home. They spoke fluent, whatever their language was, and then at school they were like, they were learning English or whatever the case may be. So they had these different groups. But what I think America's about to get hit with, and this storm is going to be a whole lot worse for they, because you have to be already right now acting and participating and learning about how to speak the new language, where people of color is America's language, where we're going to be talking about the importance of moving the goal line where it's supposed to be. Instead of drawing the goal line with capitalism by saying we're rich and this is where the goal line is, that's fake. It's not even a real subject matter. I mean, America is buying everything from overseas.
It's non-sustainable.
We're spending money that we owe money. We owe to other countries and so on and so forth.
It's all
that
fake.
Shift is going to change, and there's going to be some dynamic, important conversations that just have to get understood versus. So there's people are going to be speaking about it. It just has to get understood. Those theys are going to have to just start understanding, or
which theys?
The theys that don't understand and don't agree.
The theys that are propped up with the capitalism and propped up with
capitalism,
lives.
Or racism, or prejudice, or any of the people that are not. I mean, there's so many things that are about to unfold in the next year. If we can't fix,
but I mean, that's literally saying like the dollars that paid for your mansions, the dollars that paid for your boats and your cars and your cushy life and your private schools and your this. You're literally saying like those dollars are fake and mean nothing in the long term in the grand scheme of things, right? And so that's, I mean...
Well, technology is the new crude oil. Like, everything about tech is like what we're dominating. But, the biggest commodity...
Right, military's out of style. Is that what we're saying?
I think that we're going to end up... I feel like...
Have we gone out of fashion here? Has America gone out of fashion?
I feel like human kindness is going to become the new capitalism. If you can band together as more of a group of...
Are you talking about globalism?
I'm talking about positivity, period. I don't care about globalism.
I hear you. I hear you, but I wanted to put the word in there because that is a word that
it makes people go crazy for some reason.
Makes people go nuts to talk about globalism or to talk about...
intellects go nuts when you talk about globalism. Because globalism is such a vain expression to acknowledge where capitalism is being intermeshed with societies that are less than yours or...
Less than. What's less than?
That's what I'm saying. So, people are affected by the word globalism. I don't want globalism to affect America. Oh, really? But we're literally just pushing our military into their space, taking all of their products from that space, and you're not expecting any kind of intersection or interaction or global. That doesn't make any sense. It's just like a false bottom.
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
they're just it's sick. It's disgusting. Like the nationalism is gross. The nationalistic stuff that's going on in our country. I don't know. I don't even know.
Is it too dogmatic to just say the thing that's obvious? Like,
what's obvious? What?
Nationalism is gross. Like it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't think that we're going to be, I don't think the promise for what the future is bleak. I don't think that. And when I think I hear predominant white intellects on both sides, because I do a Trump quote, I believe that they do feel like there's bleakness. Because I don't think white people get that it's going to be okay. Forgive me, I'm saying white people a lot, but I don't think that people that are in the position of learning are going to...
I don't think white people get where they came from in the first place. Like, we've only been told that the world begins basically, from the start of our country. Really. Like, I mean, you learn history, you learn world history, but you're learning it from this very skewed version and vision of it that's all through straight white male lens.
And international...
And I'm sorry, but that's not... That just isn't healthy.
What's interesting is...
That's just not... It's just not the way... It's just not... Yeah.
From my experience, people that are international Europeans think the same thing about you just said about Americans. There's Europeans
think we're
stupid for just fully adopting this
Get out of this country. Go to Europe.
They're like they're like, well, how could you guys believe the show you're creating and you're just doing it every single day? Nobody else out here does that or thinks that way or acts that way.
Or ever has. Like, I mean, I'm talking like...
And that's the part that's bananas to me. Yeah, or ever has. That's even bigger. And there have been countries for longer times. Go ahead.
I was just pointing over there because I was like, we're talking about going when I was 16, you know, like how long ago was that? It was a minute ago. That was a while ago. And, you know, it was a culture shock to go to Europe. It was a culture shock. I wasn't expecting such a culture shock to go to Europe, but it was because... You know, I had only had American public schooling, and then boom, I'm sitting in Europe, and like everybody hates us.
Okay,
sitting in France, not. It's not.
Ooh, so that's pretty dope. Like, what's that guy's name? Rick Steves.
And looking down on us, just as you're saying, you know, like, or you know, they're just like
American
ridiculous.
American entitlement is super stupid. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what it's like to be a white person. I can't imagine what it's like to have that culture shock, let alone being there.
I think that it was a part of,
and having.
I think that it was a small piece of, you know, humble pie. Like, even though I could use way more heaping helpingfuls of humble pie, I think that was a seed that was planted, and that was like, oh, check myself in that. Like the rest of the world thinks, you know, here I am in these like white dominated spaces still, and even they think we're full of crap.
I think it's bananas that there's like this America First concept, though newly rebranded. It's been around for a long time. America First concept, where when you step outside of America for real, America's not the top of the it's not the top of the food chain of where anyone wants to reside or study or work.
Like, we're not taking care of our people here. Like our systems here are not taking care of we're not taking care of ourselves.
And so the crazy part for me is that
we're busy.
I don't even know if the right word's microcosm. So globalism, though,
we already are a part of globalism. We're a part of like using our guns and crap to go around bullying every other country that's around us.
We're the country with the most guns, and everyone that's every I was gonna say patron, every citizens. We have more guns per capita per citizen in any other country than any other country. And the part about the globalism thing is just wild to me is like. We're pretty much a living bottleneck for any one subject to just diffuse. Say we accidentally bomb Syria, which we still don't know what the hell's going on. What is going on? I don't know what's going on right now. I don't want to get into that, but like everything we do as a country is super garbage, including how we manage our healthcare or our education or the environment or children or immigration. Like I can't think of an America First thing that has an America First banner. It's all. It's like it reminds me of being in high school. I remember when I was in high school and I wanted to play football and looking at the star. I hope I don't really point the finger at some things, but when I went to high school, I looked at the stars of the team and I was like, why are people paying attention to them? Because they don't look like the ones that are the stars of the team. There were some cats that were way more. The glue was around. There's some real people that have like spirit, health, drive, camaraderie, and this is about male toxic masculinity. I don't know, or just sports in general. But when it comes to a team, the coach that we had, who was Japanese at the time, Coach Kodama, which for me was amazing. I did not know that was a possibility. Not that I ever thought it. And then the Ward brothers, rest in peace. One of them passed away. I don't know if they're still alive, but I'm just bringing them up to say that. Anyway, the body of what I saw, being at the school that was predominantly white, where all the athletes were in, all the people of color were in those spheres of athleticism, as per usual, in a predominantly white school that has any people of color. What I saw there's leadership was happening from the heart and the spirit of the conglomerate group. They weren't following the leader. And this is the problem with America, is that we are forced to just be America with whatever leaders at the top, which has been the white man Hasn't been, except for Barack Obama. And debatable people will try to slay Barack Obama for not being a black man. His freaking father's from Africa. His mom was white. I know that's like, but you can't have that's like fully African American. If Reagan knew when he created whoever helped him create political correctness that African American was going to literally mean the first president was going to be African and American, that is hilarious. That's a really funny joke. That's called a long-winded punchline, if you ask me. But what's next to me is like globalism's happening everywhere we go. Now, that's what I think is happening. I think what's going to end up unfolding here, and I hope it happens in these next 4 years, not because of the presidency, but because I want more of the troubled waters to get plunged. I want to drain it. I want to drain the swamp. Because it's but I want it to be real for real though this time. I want it to be for real this time. I think it's interesting.
The amount of unlearning that it's going to take. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine. Don't have a lot of hope for the amount of unlearning that it's going to take to get there peacefully. That's what I have to say.
Oh, you think it's going to be? You think it's unpeaceful? You think this will be?
I'm speaking on. I'm the only reference that I can possibly have so far is the time and amount of unlearning that has had to happen inside of myself to even get to where I'm at right now, where I'm still talking over you, speaking over you, acting entitled and inserting myself in whatever.
But our dynamic is the structure of what marriage is already has this rule structure that almost doesn't allow it to be what it needs to be.
Sure.
Because of just the nature of like people are married and you're paying bills and you're doing jobs and you're taking care of kids and there's a lot of ways to get lost in all those shuffles.
Well, I mean, it's become real apparent to me why less than 25% of interracial marriages make it,
right?
Or less than 20%, or I don't know the exact percentage on that, but I mean, it is putting two different cultures.
What's wild
together?
It is putting. I think it's more than two. See, this is what I think about.
Well, and then if you take two different socioeconomic, like there's, I mean, so much can come along with all of it, right? Like
Well, here's. I don't want this to sound like I'm painting some kind of better than picture, but what I find interesting about what you said is that I think people of color atypically, and I'm black people of color, really have a sense about people of color. And so when you put them inside of a relationship where there is a person who's not a person of color, I'm wearing the love and the compassion for so many more racial groups as a general rule, I think, than, not to say that you are, but I'm kind of trying to, I hope I'm setting an example.
That's been boiled down.
Is that what? Has that been boiled down in your conversations?
In the conversations,
we walk together. People of color walk together, not separate.
That does not coddle people. It's also been talked about. Oh, and it was she dropped it in the Instagram thing that you showed me earlier today. She dropped the actual term.
Oh man, I wish I remember her name. She does that. She does a great Instagram thing, and she says, "I'm gonna keep it." Oh man, I'm messing it up, and I know you probably want to watch my show. Black and keeping it brief. I'm gonna have to put an insert of her show right here.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm not about to keep it brief. I'm just here to read these white motherfuckers at the cap.
Her show.
But she said the word that it is too, and I'm not gonna remember the word possibly, but I hopefully can describe it from how I've learned it, which is white folks have just learned how to be white folks, and it's also been said. Like, we haven't had to study a whole nother culture to survive. We haven't had to...
That part.
It's like, we haven't had to... I'm speaking to the majority of white folks have not had to study a whole other culture in this country to survive.
I'm speaking English right now.
So, but
I'm not... I mean, like...
No, but...
I'd rather be... I mean, I love... It's really weird to say it this way because it feels so messed up for me right now in this moment to say I love talking in broken English and Ebonics. All of my friends that know me know that I will mix up words and just say all kinds of weird stuff, and that's fun. To even talk about real important things and be like, sassafras, man, I'm about to get out of here, instead of like saying F that.
Well, I mean...
I'm just saying, like, the people, black people, really play with the whole nuance of just language and mannerisms and physicalities and Latino. And I bring that up in that kind of, I'm sorry for interrupting you, because I really wanted you to hear what you were saying, but I think that to live in this country, which we all are, and I know that people want us to get out of here really badly, because they voted for the guy that they really want us out. They want us out, and they want to stay here because they think it's theirs.
That's cute.
They want us to leave.
It's not yours.
I think it's interesting because the spirit of people of color is that life is fun and fruitful, because everything is anew. And though we've been learning from the constructors and the builders of this country by rule of thumb, and creating the Constitution and creating this land and killing all the people that they killed and doing whatever else that they've been doing in front of us or not in front of us, we are all learning. Whereas, like you're saying, white people are just being white people. They're accepting the white people. American white people are just accepting every spoon that they're fed, and it's not true.
It reaches beyond just America, sure. I think it seeps back beyond that.
Wait, you mean historically?
Yeah.
No, I know, I don't disagree.
But yes.
Which, I mean, like, I don't like what goes on in the UK and in Britain. I think that they're all
anywhere else in the world.
I think they're all jacked up.
So one of the...
I don't like what Russia does either.
Forgive
me, because I do like
one of the things that keeps getting said over and over and over and over and over again is there's nothing new that a white person could possibly say to a black person that they haven't heard before in this group, in this particular group, which is like, we are known. We have had to be studied so that other people can survive and earn a living, get a job, earn a living, own a house, go to school, do these things, like they are, and white folks, we haven't. Like, we have not had to go into the neighborhoods where black people live and learn anything at all, in order for our survival. And in order for, but at the same time, it's been interesting to me because I'm like, well, we better freaking start. Because, like, there's no way to survive. Like, there's no way to survive to have all this stuff hung up in, like, money and this and that and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, just churning and churning and churning. Like, it's gross.
Wow, that kind of hits heavy.
But it hits real heavy. And, like, I'm telling you, in a couple of these groups, man, and one of them in particular, like, they are not coddling white people in this group at all. And I feel very fortunate to be allowed to be in that space and to mostly learn from other folks' conversations and just people sharing. But
that's interesting.
But it's it's beyond code switching. It's life switching. Like, it's
for white people.
No, for people of color.
Well, I mean, it's life switching.
It's like you've literally.
Are you speaking on what it's like for a black person to be in the country?
No, I can't possibly. I'm speaking. I'm doing my best to just translate what was shared. Like, not even translate it. Is it fluency? I can't remember the word for it. To become culturally fluent.
Oh, okay.
To become culturally fluent in another culture other than your own.
So if you're speaking on, no, it does. I'm just going to try to help me understand it, but I'm also going to talk about what I've interpreted from what you said. Okay. Okay. So cultural fluence is what I think African Americans have done the best in America. Mm-hmm. That means that we've been inclusive in understanding, listening to, or
because you're not only
learning about all people of color and what's going on with white America, while we're all actually calling this place home, standing here, feeling patriotic. There is a black nationalism I think is very profound, where there's actual, like, this is our space. We built it and we're going to show you. You guys have been messing up and we're going to show you. We're going to keep proving to you what's wrong about the way that this has been constructed, or I was going to say deduced, but like the way that this has been forged. The way it's been forged. Because what's interesting about American history in a pamphlet is that it continually changed from the moment it was created culturally. Period. The biggest thing about America, in my opinion, is that it continually fully, because it started from zero, and it's a country you get to look at. You don't get to look at any other country really and go, that's the history. We're the newest country, and everything is there. So what is the biggest influence to this country from the beginning, besides landing here, is stripping away race and killing people. That's the first step. Landing here and calling it something else and saying it's yours, is saying it's theirs or whoever's, is sort of the first and second step. And then trying to forge the land and create
genocide.
Space. Thank you.
The stuff that the white people did to the indigenous people here in the Americas is just, it's straight up genocide is what it is.
Right.
Call it what it is. We need to call it what it is.
That's what so in the pamphlet,
and it's still, there are things that are still
in the pamphlet, in the fourth line or fifth line is like, genocide is the only way America exists today. Mm-hmm. And the fifth line, this is the first paragraph. Slavery is the only way America exists today. Mm-hmm. Imagine that book. These little kindergartners, first grade, second grader going, that's what I'm standing on. Then you get to be, that's what we're, I'm trying
but to. But then, we got to also,
I'm trying to point at the fact that that's what people of color are actually paying attention to. We know why it exists. We fully understand what's going on and what's wrong. You're taught. And we're trying to get everything cleaned up. Everybody wants to have a clean version of life where we don't have to worry about bombs overseas.
All that stuff's in the past, in the history.
Yeah, but there's exactly the opposite is to just be like, well, this is our place and that's what we do, and
I can't be held responsible for what my great-great-grandfather did.
No, you don't have. You can't, because if you were held responsible,
that's what the argument is.
Well, if you were held responsible, there's two things that would happen: prison or death penalty. Right. If I held you responsible for that, two things: prison or death penalty. What I'm not trying to do is hold you responsible. What I'm trying to make sure you understand is that that's done. These notes and these watered down versions of how you're, moving the voting booths. That's the same thing, man. That's the rope around my neck. None of these people over here would vote for what you're talking about. You're talking about garbage. You're not helping me help you by letting me vote. If I vote, I'm going to help you in some way. You want to know why? Because I'm going to vote for education. I'm going to vote for higher pay for teachers, higher pay for not medical professionals, healthcare. That's what I meant to say. Having healthcare. I would fight for things that balance the balance sheet so that when the workforces need to be infused, we're able. I think it's crazy to have the argument, and I'm sorry if I'm going on a tangent, for people on one side to have an argument like, we don't want immigration, we don't want them to come over for these jobs, when the people that are available to work are here right now, and we can invite them over, but you're not letting that happen because you're keeping...
It's fair.
I can't. Ghettos that I've seen.
But that's. Okay. So I'm curious. Oh my god. I'm curious. I'm wondering how many white people out there are actually studying our real history and wondering what happened after we split off.
Which part?
In Central was it Central Asia? So the cradle. We're talking about we're going back to Adam and Eve and the history of humans.
Oh wait, history of humans. That's religious. What you're talking about?
No, it's not. It's scientifically proven. Watch the Genome Project. So we all came from Africa, right? Things look different, and then we all came up through Northeast Africa, went into Asia, Facts. And then something happened. Well, some of us went down Australia and hung or whatever. And I'm doing it in relationship to myself. I'm not doing it in relationship to the people out there. But then we were hanging out in what I call that Central Asia. Central Asia? Is that it? And then, but some of us broke off and
got stuck in the ice. Got stuck in the snow.
No, not the ones in the east.
Not those? My bad.
So this is why we're called Western culture, right? This is why Western culture. But some of us went east and ended up eventually walking over.
Yeah, so where we are now, east is going up where Russia is.
For Russia, and they walked across that,
Going to go see that one.
What's that called? Starts with a B. Bering Strait. They walked across They walked across the stuff that was frozen up there and went from Russia to, I don't know, what is that up there, Alaska or something?
That's Alaska right there, yeah. Right
anyway, which is like Alaska. Like, that's America, that little, like, keep that, right. Anyways.
Right.
That makes any sense to me.
It's strategic.
I know what it is, but it's just, okay. I mean, I don't know, but I do, and whatever. Anyways, which turns out that as of right now, they found out that only like 10 to 20 people, 10 to 20 humans walked across that Bering Strait.
10 to 20 people.
10 to 20 people.
Humped and made babies.
And turned into, and within 800 years of 10 to 20 people, populated all the way down to the, bottom of South. Well,
right.
South America now. It's always been weird to me.
So you're saying that people should study that?
Well, I think that most white people actually need to put their attention on the fact that we split in Central Asia. I just talked about where they went east. The people who went west, yeah, they got frozen. They got stuck. That's everybody who got stuck over in like what's now England and Spain and France and like
But real
Europe.
talk though, people don't know how their melanin is pale.
Right. This is where I'm stuck right now. I have not passed go, and I think that I'm going to learn a whole lot more because I'm actually engaged in learning about decolonized history right now. So, and let me tell you, that's something that will shut you right up. Like, I think that that's going to shut a lot of white people up.
Well, I mean, it's not that.
Is to learn about our actual history, like,
I feel
from
like
a scientific standpoint. And actually the science and the biblical stuff can kind of go in hand there, I think. Like, they talk about how, like, anyways. So, but what was it? Was it, it's not called Rickers. What is it called? When you don't get enough vitamin D.
Isn't that a disease?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rickers.
Rickers.
Is it Rickers?
We do have our new associate producer, but we can't ask her to define Rickers for us.
Anyways, like what happened?
Riggers or Rickers?
I think it's Ricker.
Or Rick James.
I don't know. What? Rick James. Rick James. Oh boy. What?
Nothing. I'm just playing with words. Rickers. But is that what happens? Oh, you're talking about what happens?
Rigor mortis. I don't know. Anyways, what happened? Like, got frozen over there, got all mean and angry, and then came out trying to and we're still kind of like that.
So,
like, on the whole, white people are still kind of like.
So the genome project is something that
on the whole, like if you look at our culture, Western white culture. If you look at Western white culture, and hold it with all the other different cultures in the world.
Would you rather be
kind of bananas.
Would you rather be a white Anglo-Saxon human being who derives from headdresses that are full of bugs and big long garments and gowns?
Are you talking about Neanderthals?
No, I'm talking about the Europeans that wore a lot of clothes to mask their stink.
Oh, you're talking about with like the white wigs and wigs. Like
would you rather be that
the court can't move their upper bodies,
or physically stronger than shit without shirts on and funky like the desert, dancing with all kinds of colors in a tribe? Would you rather derive from that or derive from that? I said it earlier.
Well, I mean, the problem is that we're all derived from the same starting.
Huh?
I mean, geez.
Who named this place Earth?
I am really trying to figure out, like, why.
Huh?
Well, we were talking about how, like, everybody was enslaving everybody then, but the Europeans were the first to go, like, let's put everybody on boats and go other places.
Yeah, everybody was enslaving people, but they decided to put people on boats and go to other places, and they got that. It got fucked up. I think the point I was trying to make earlier is that the better answer and the answer more likely is that it'll all get worked out in the end, and it's just gonna it's gonna happen. So
life's short.
No, well, I mean, life's short. Kind of right now.
Right.
I mean, people are busting a good 110 out now. You get 110 years on the planet. You can do that.
White people don't have to change, I think. But
what was that?
I think that that's a thing. Like, people are stuck in their ways.
They're also scared that
they're generations in, and
they're also scared that if they do that, there's that conversation from the Q babies and
make them
the far right people. They're saying like they are very scared of what's it called when two people come together and make humans?
Interracial.
Yeah, interracial. Whatever's going on over here at this house.
Q babies are scared of interracial babies.
They don't. No, they're scared of having
interracial relationships.
They want to preserve.
Biracial and multiracial babies.
They want to preserve their skim milk.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
It's not funny because there's so many bad things happening out there.
Oh, what time is it?
Oh, tiny bit after 11.
So, I wore this shirt specifically, brand new one, because Coming to America 2 is coming out.
Watch it.
So I wore this just because.
We're excited.
If Eddie Murphy's back, then you know it's bad on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if that's all right. But I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to commit to it. But I wore this shirt specifically because I thought it reminded me of
the fact that you and George.
What?
The fact that you and George sat next to each other and that he's saying that one part is what is most amusing.
I'm your queen to be, your queen to be forever. That part from Coming to America. Yeah. Have you seen Coming to America? Oh man,
Watch it.
That's okay.
Huh? I don't watch a lot.
You don't watch a lot of stuff. What was the last thing you watched?
Ice Age. It's my favorite movie.
The first one? What about the rest of them?
Oh, the rest of them were good. I think the third one's the best.
The cartoon?
Third one. So there's 5 of them or 6 of them.
There's
the cartoon,
5.
Ice Age, right?
Yeah. Ice Age. Okay. Ice Age. We got the Ice Ages. We roll with the Ice Ages up in here.
They love Ice Age. Our kids love Ice Age.
Wait, but you didn't watch it like when it came out last time. Like when I said, what's the last thing you watched? You just watched it like yesterday? When's the last time you watched Ice Age?
Winter break?
Oh, you just like, I gotta get my Ice Age in. We get in the car. We drive with it in the car all the time. That's hilarious. That is pretty hilarious. Gosh, I would love to culture shock you and have you watch Coming to America.
You definitely need to watch it.
I would love you to watch Coming to America.
Yeah.
That would make me smile on my heart spirits. Anyway, Coming to America is out. You know what's interesting, Tukwila? We gotta stop this. I'm feeling good because I feel like positivity is coming, but you're tired, and then your tiredness and your like dejection on the lost hope of white people. I'm looking at you in camera, and you're like,
oh, Lordy.
It's like it's over.
Lordy.
You know what's wild is, I mean, I'm all spirited and stuff like that.
Well, no, but I don't know. It's not over.
Right,
it could just be beginning.
Exactly.
I personally feel like it's just beginning. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yep.
Unlearning and re-education of what actually happened in our history and our past.
But there's also
opens so many possibilities for everybody.
There's also very serious dangers that people are going through. Like what's the word? Good Lord, I can't put the word together. What is it when you guys come together and you're in those social media environments, your Insta faces and your booktograms, and you guys put money together and you
crowdsource?
What's that? No, not crowdsourcing. Oh. That's not what I can do that one.
Mutual aid.
That's what it was. I really think if you're watching this show, you should try to find you a mutual aid resource. Do you know of any like real people need to? This is what's going to happen next, because we have people right now that are without power still in Texas. People that don't have money. There's people on the street right now that are getting moved. They're doing sweeps
on my personal Facebook page. There's scroll down.
Oh geez, no, just
then post it here. I'll send it to you, and you can put it up with the thing.
Sure, that way they can.
I don't know people's Cash Apps or Venmos and mutual aid things right off the top of my head.
My whole point is just find places where you can help if you have extra money to support mutual aid groups are very important. And also, like,
mutual aid means that money's going directly
right
to people very fast without, excuse me, having to jump through all the bureaucratic BS hoops that large organizations require.
Right.
So they're not having to fill out tons of paperwork, this or that, wait for 3 months, do all of that. This means that, like, money to pay for a hotel tonight because your pipes broke and you're freezing and you have no heat or whatever is going on, or you're homeless because you lost your job and your government can't pull it together to, you know, pay your stimulus check before they drop bombs on Syria. Money goes straight to the people who need shelter, food, birthday toys for their children, for goodness sakes. I mean, you name it. Like, communities are out there moving and shaking. Most of the ones that I know, really, they are Black, female-led, to be honest. Like, it's people who are...
Write that down.
They are. Feet on the ground, boots on the ground. Out there moving and shaking and organizing and...
But I wanted to speak on Texas for a second, because Texas is about to be a really big war zone of disenfranchisement and death, I think. With the action that governor took to make it so that all things are opened up and that masks are not a requirement, we're going to see a lot of people, groups of communities, people of color, that are going to be hurting dramatically because they do not have their jobs right now, and so they're not going to get those jobs back, and then those companies that are big or small are going to reap the benefits of being able to do this. It's going to make it so that all the rules regards your power bill and your rent and things like that normally are being taken care of by the government are no longer there. This is a humongous money grab, because let me just do this little pop quiz. If I have $1 billion and you're the governor and I'm saying I'm giving you $1 billion to take care of anything PPE related for all the communities, and then you take my $1 billion, but then you say,
we're opening back up.
Guess what you have in your pocket?
$1 billion.
That is some bullshit.
That's exactly
what's happening right now. So the craziest part
is... We have our own stuff happening in Seattle. Don't even get me started.
I'm so
with
pissed.
Not accepting federal funds
I
for
wish the news talked about it this way, but even if it's $500 million, I guarantee you this is the biggest money grab. I'm so happy I'm so smart because it makes me feel good, but I just wish I could do what they do so I can be a gross, nasty dude and have a ticket downstairs. Oh. And thank you for joining us on our podcast. What's it called again? I forgot. Borderline Racing I don't even think that's a song that they're doing. I'm mixing it up. Oh, it's not racist that I did it, but I mixed up the song that's in Coming to America with In the Jungle.
What?
Oh, damn it. I really did just do that. Melodically, I kind of messed it all up. That's on me. Do you understand?
Are you talking about the opening scene?
The opening scene.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? I'm about to watch that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Click. Bye.